The news read by Oscar Bambuka. Oscar Bambuka was born soon after independence in the month of December. We are a very happy people, those born in December. Went to Vanona Primary School, did my primary there before proceeding to Oso's Kwamtoko. I studied journalism and media on a professional level. So in a nutshell, this is Oscar, a father of two, Aisha and Oscar Jr. There are a lot of issues which causes one to be under the influence of drugs, but to me specifically, it was depression. There was a time when my marriage collapsed. I divorced from my wife, isn't it? So the emotional pressures were eating me up. I, during that time, thought that it was the end of the world. I thought that I could not experience love anymore. So I went into a downturn, so to speak. It was very painful. I had no one to talk to. You know, in my case, you know, being known at times, you tend to keep things to yourself. So I was keeping a lot of emotional scars to myself. And this led me now to look for new sort of entertainment or consolation. And I began moving in this draconian world of drugs. This was in 2018. This is when it all began. And ndopandakatanga kutamba nevanhu vandaiona vachirowa zvinodhaka. Ndichivaona ndisandatanga, I used to think kuti asi vanhu they're always laughing, they're always happy. I see that's the best remedy. Then I took it as a friend and I started consuming one of the most dangerous drugs on earth, mtoriro, a psychotic drug. It was as a result of pain, keeping things to myself. I would not say peer pressure. Where can I get that consolation? And drugs became my friend. When I was inside, that is Harare Central Prison, you know, okay, I went in intoxicated on the 19th of January 2023. You see, Mtoriro was all over my mind. But when I entered into the gates of prison, with time, the drugs began to evaporate from my body. Mtoriro wakatanga kubuda, kupera, because now I was getting adequate sleep. So the healing process began. I began to start eating beans, and there's an order. Unlike the outside world, whilst I was in prison, which was not happening outside. Very serious. They don't want any inmate to be affected by food shortages. So this helped me to recover. That's number one. I also told you that whilst I was outside, sleep had become very much scarce in my life. So prison, I began to sleep. Weight loss, I always say this point, I was losing a lot of weight. The moment you, especially Mtoriro drugs, you will not eat, isn't? You'll be eating junk food, mazepi, which is not carbohydrates, no vitamins, no protein. You just be eating junk food. So that became my daily diet before I was arrested. So the weight decreased. I had reached 51. I'm judging by the 19th when I entered into prison. But as a result of the rehabilitation and reintegration of inmates by the correctional service, I regained myself. I regained my health. I regained my weight. I regained my intellect. I regained my cognitive domain. And this, I salute the prisons, because they taught us how to be disciplined. Oscar Bambuka, we are a class. It was a classless society. It helps us to communicate with others. Shandini challenge ye, because you'll be talking to many people who have passed through so many battles in as far as drugs are concerned, and Mazona. So that communication or talking to these people comforted me. One other important thing, wapinda meme wa hila ndinotenda Jerry. Uchiona vanhu vachiuya manje, new admissions, ndopa unoona kuti zveshuwa nandapinda mune imwe world. You see how you behaved nevanhu vari kupinda vanyowani, uchiona kuti ndo mavharirwo andandakaita aya. Unenge uchiita kunge chigure, unenge uchiita kunge munhu asiri kuziva zvaari kuita. So ndakadzidza kuti zveshuwa ndiri panze ndaisateerera, ndaitozviramba kuti ndaonda, ndaitozviramba kuti pamwe pfungwa dzakumboita ma-ups and downs. Asi pandaizoona ma-new admissions achipinda, I felt scared and embarrassed at the same time kuti my life had taken a wrong path. Drugs are very dangerous. You see what I'm saying? They affect your relations. Tangira kumba kwacho kwaunogara, the networks become suffocated. Relations between the family is disembarked. Kana wai concentrate nokutsvaga pundutso yemhuri. With drugs you become like a zombie. Apasina zvauchaita. You're just thinking of the next take, not productively. So productive wise, drugs kill your momentum. I grew up a very, very hard-working person, but we patangangotanga consumer that toxic, demonic smoke yemtoriro. Ndakatanga kuita nungo, pandaisamboita nungo. Ndakakwanisa kuverengera zvinhu zvandaisamboverengera kare. Ndakakwanisa kusakoshesa my relations andaikoshesa. Ndaitoona under the influence unenge zvisina basa. So you lose a lot, and no one wants to associate with a druggie. These are the lessons which came about during all this dangerous of life of drugs. And ndakanyasoona kuti in society does not want to associate nema druggies. So look at where I had gone with my life. I was just going to go to the grave. A lot of people my age and other youths, for example, have disappeared on this earth as a result of intoxication. Because these drugs, mind you, they affect the vital organs of the body. I'm talking about the liver, I'm talking about the kidney, I'm talking about the brain cells. So this is what was happening from 2018. Imagine when I partook this demonic world. ZBC, I worked for it from 2000 to 2016. So during the news moment, TV, I was very sober. The Oscar we are good zoko. Wamaiona pepe. Ndiripa news, ndiripa TV, ndichiviga magamba, ndichita meoti import, ndichita say very sober. And ndoshamisika kuti ndakazopinda same drugs ayo. Unozamwe yetsvina. We also need to pray. Prayer is very important. Because I don't look at it like a drug per se. Semtoriro. Mutoriro chispirit chawaisa mukati meropa rako. Papa uri kutora mweya waisa jambwa. You have introduced poverty into your life. Most people, business people, captains of industry, ma journalists ana Oscar iwa vanorwa mutoriro. Wakamtarisa munhu anorwa mutoriro. Kana anga nemba asisina. Kana anga nemotokari zvaparara, mombe zvese zvinoenda kusara wakutotengesa bhurugwa remukati. As an example, these are the dangers of drugs. Hapana munhu waunonyasoona kuti anorwa cocaine kana madrugs anoramba ane pfuma. Nokuti madrugs acho anodaidzira addiction yaya inenge chingoti ndisvete. Unonzwa voice iri kutaura newe ndisvete, ndisvete. Now this is happening to the youths. Imagine if the youths, isusu my youth, indotenda Mwari ndadzoka, and I'm talking to you as your brother, not as a fundi. Yutara samkoma wenyu kuti genga madrugs aya mangwana Zimbabwe yacho inoshaya anoitungamirira. Anozoita majournalist acho ndianani? Anozogadzisa nyika yacho kuti magetsi tiwaone ndiani? Nai mayouth. Kumining sector kunoshandwa nani? Kuinsurance anozozvita ndiani? Inenge yanyika yakafana nenyika iri padhuze nesu iyo. Ndangopa example panyaya dzecrime. South Africa ndinoona futi dzinongoya pese pese. Ndo mazomba atinge tagadzira nemadrugs. Ukona vanhu ivo vanenge munhu anorwa madrugs haana moyo, anoita zvese zvese. Ndo zvakaipira madrugs. Ndosaka ndichitenda hurumende, especially Mai Mnangagwa, samai venyika, she has played a big part kuti dingindira iri rifambiswe ridzike kuvanhu. And I support her and I congratulate her because she is now treating this as COVID. It's a pandemic. And wakwana ana mama venyika vakupindira kuvana. There's no better remedy than that. And as Oscar Pambuka, a victim aishandisa drugs, mama ndinonyasonzwisisa kupindira kwenyu kwamaita munyaya iyi. It's very important for the youths because your motherly figure zvikurakidza zvinotaurika. Munoziva munhu wemadrugs haadi kutaura kunge ari kutohasha kana kuita kunge ari kuitwa no. Mai vakataura nesu vachitaura nevana, it conscientizes, it softens the mood in the nation. And I salute Mama for that and the entire government on their zero tolerance to drugs. It's a war which needs to be won. And ndo maonera ndikuita nyaya iyi. Salute you Mama, we love you so much. The Oscar Taura mai at the Higher Institute of Learning ku college ku Jeru. It's not the end of the world. This is the greatest lesson I learned from the Zimbabwe Prison and Correctional Services. Vanofana kuombererwa vanhu vaya. Because you know what? It's an institute. Makazara madoctor. Mune politicians. Mune journalists. Mune vanhu vanoita agriculture. It's a cosmopolitan crowd in prison. Mune zvese. Guess what? The prison, during that hard time of sorrow, of pain, they identified a skill in me. Nakasungwa kudaro. Vakati no. Why can't you use your life story as a lesson to other people? And this was a very noble idea. So, together with the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service, my inmates akawanda, anachigodo, to mention but a few, Nana Maititi, female guys, we partnered together and we started to target the most important group in the nation of Zimbabwe, the young ones. So our journey was very interesting, very educational, very informative, touching with testimonies, because these are real stories. Oscar vaanoziya achishamarara kuti sure akatomboitawo problem yemadrugs. Why tichitaura nyaya iyi kwamuri azvishamisireka kuti ndairwa mutoriro zvinonyadzisa, asi reason ndikukuudza inini se maybe ungakwanisa kunditeerera kuti ona ini ndaiverenga news dzenyika, the news read by Oscar Pambuka, chiona munhu yanga akurwa mutoriro. So we started moving to these schools, imparting our wisdom, imparting our knowledge and understanding to the youths with the aim of what? Protecting their future. I would not want a young brother and sister to follow the path I once went through. Yokudakwa, yokupera miri, yokuita unge munhu akupenga, yokushaya pfuma. Madrugs ese wawo. And this is the message I'm saying to you, iwe naiwe wadi kunditeerera ndikutaura ndichibva pamoyo pangu kuti nzira yemadrugs iri very dangerous. Ndosaka takaenda kwaMutoko, touring the schools in Mutoko, Domboshawa, Kuwadzana, whilst in prison, Chitungwiza. We went to Prince Edward school, and I must say the youths are taking the zero tolerance message on drugs very seriously, especially kuchikoro. Ndo vatiri kufana kuprotecta nhai mhuri yeZimbabwe. These drugs should be kept away from these people. So that became my new agenda in prison. It was like a calling from the Most High. Could Oscar testify and heal your brothers and sisters who are also victims of this? It's a serious issue. Atusikoadama drugs in Zimbabwe. You see, just imagine Zimbabwe in 10 provinces, and in province Trugwana, each and every province, my base emtoriro, my base is semesa, kanganisa fungwa, kanganisa economy, because you affect the economic production. Ndikukudza inini se maybe ungakwanisa kunditeerera kuti ona ini ndaiverenga news dzenyika, the news read by Oscar Pambuka.